Hello everybody and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing off this little game that I created over the weekend called Nothing. It's stylized with brackets around N-O-T-H-I-N-G, and you'll see why that is in just a moment. But basically I made this game for the Ludum 45 Game Jam. Of course, this is a game jam that's put on a couple times every year. I think they're doing about twice a year now. And it's something that I like to participate in and as often as I possibly can. It's just always a fun time challenging yourself to make a full game in a short amount of time. So this time, as always, I participated in the compo section of the game jam, which is the 48-hour section, and you have to make everything from scratch within that 48-hour period. Now this weekend, I didn't have a whole lot of time to dedicate towards game development. Just, a bunch of other stuff going on. So this is kind of what I came up with. It's by far the smallest game that I've created for Ludum Game Jam, but I'm very proud of it because it is 100% logic. It was all programming. As you can see, there's pretty much no graphics in it at all. It's just text on the screen. And, I was happy with it. It was fun to program because it, again, was just all logic stuff. And I will be making a video kind of going into some of the cool things that I learned and some of the cool tricks that I did in the development of this game later on. So definitely stay tuned for that. And so, of course, because this is part of a public game jam, it's available for you for free to play. So you can go ahead and check the link in the description to go ahead and play that. You can play it just right in your web browser. However, today I'm going to be playing it on my computer. So as you'll see, I'm at the start screen. I did make this in 48 hours for the Ludum 45 Game Jam. It was really a lot less than 48 hours, but won't be getting into that today. So the theme was start with nothing. So I kind of had that little intro sequence that says start with nothing, and I think that's kind of cool there, kind of a cool way to start the game off. Anyways, this is pretty much what the game looks like. Again, very simple, not a whole lot going on. It's just all text on the screen. Of course, we can go up to the rules here and read through these rules if you like, but I already know how to play, and I'll be kind of explaining the rules as I go along. So it's essentially a card game. So this is kind of U down here at the bottom. So you have the letters N-O-T-H-I-N and G. You'll see that you have your three opponents at the top of the screen, P1, P2, and P3. You'll see that each of these players at the top have their own set of cards. You'll see that the way it's kind of represented that they have a card here is within the brackets. There's just a little period here. That's kind of to represent that they're holding a card. And as you can see, all the players currently start with 7 cards, and then they can hold up to a total of 14. The idea of the game is if you are holding 14 cards and you try and draw another one, well, you're going to bust and you're going to be eliminated from the game. So the two ways to win are to get all the other players to bust or to play your final card. So it's kind of like Uno in a sense, if you've ever played the card game Uno. So basically, here's kind of like the main board here. You see this O, P, Q, R, and S. The idea is Q is kind of the main card here. So if you have a Q, you can play a Q, and then all the other players will draw a card. If you have a P or an R, just one away from the main card, then you get to choose another player to draw a card. Then if you have an O or an S, then it's basically just even. No one else needs to draw any new cards. So of course, if you play a card, you'll see that I have an O. So in this case, if it was my turn, I could play an O. Now an O is going to be the base center card here. However, if you do not have a card that can be played here, then you're going to have to draw a new one to the deck. If you still don't have any cards that you can play, then you're going to have to draw cards to your hand. So again, that's just a quick little overview of the rule set here. So let's go ahead and actually play the game. So you'll see that it's player one's turn, and they have 7 letters in their hand. They played the letter O, which means no one else draws a card. So now we'll go to next, and now it's player two's turn. Of course, they have 7 letters in their hand. They unfortunately did not have anything to play, so they had to draw a new letter to the playing field. This time they did have a letter to play. They had an L, so they chose P1 to draw a card. And so again, you can kind of monitor how many cards everyone has just by these little dots on the icon here. You'll see that because player 2 played a card, now he only has 6. Player 1, he did play a card before, but then P2 made him draw a card, so now he's back to 7. Okay, so now it's player 3's turn. They have 7 letters in their hand, of course. They drew a new card to the playing field. They did have another card to draw, and they chose player 2 to draw a card. Now it's our turn, so now we can actually choose which card we want to play. Ideally, we want an S so everyone else can draw. However, we don't have an S. So the next best thing we have is a T, so we can play a T, and now we can choose if we want player 1, player 2, or player 3 to draw a card. So let's go ahead and pick player 1. So then you'll see now player 1 has an 8th card here. So we go here, it's player 1's turn. They have 8 letters in their hand. They played an S, which means player 3 drew a card. So now it's player 2's turn. They still have 7 letters in their hand. Player 2 drew a new letter to the playing field. Now player 2 drew the letter V, but no one else drew a card because it was kind of at the edge there. Player 3's turn now. Player 3 played an X and no one else draws a card. Now it's our turn. So let's see. We don't have anything that we can play, unfortunately, so we'll have to draw a new card to the playing field. Okay, looks like we do have an I, so we can play this. And let's keep targeting player 1 here. I think we can get him to eliminate real quick. So I can kind of start going through this a little bit faster. I think you guys kind of get an idea of the pace of the game. So you'll see that player 1 just played the letter I, so then everyone else has to draw a new card. So you'll see that now we have this new letter K at the end here. Okay, player 2, they played an I. Again, everyone else draws, so we have another card here. Player 3's turn. They had to draw another to the playing field. They choose player 2 to draw a card. Now it is our turn. Looks like we have a G, but that's not going to cause anyone to draw it. So this is kind of where I can choose if I want to draw something new to the field, kind of go for a little bit of a gamble. Let's do that. Okay, so OPQRS. So again, that didn't really accomplish what we wanted it to, but we can still play the O, so we don't have to draw a card, but no one else does either. Okay, so now player 1's turn. No one needs to draw a new card. Player 2. Okay, so now you'll see that they didn't have anything to play, so they had to draw a new letter to their hand. They have to draw another new letter to their hand, another new letter to the 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 hand. That's unfortunate. So now you'll see that player 2 is completely full with 14 cards. So what's going to happen is if they have to draw one more card, you're going to see they're going to have to bust. So let's see what happens here. Player 2 drew a new letter and busted. So now you'll see that their cards are now represented by busted. So player 2 was eliminated from the game. Now it's our turn. Okay, I made this game in like 12 hours, let's be real. And so there's kind of some bugs in it. The main bug right now is when a player gets eliminated, it skips over the next player. So it should have been player 3's turn, but it's our turn now. Not that big of a deal. So we can go ahead and hit B, and then so now we can just choose between player 1 and player 3 because these are the only 2 players in the game left. They both have the same amount of cards, so let's keep targeting P1. I want him to get out of here. I don't like the way he's looking at me. Okay, so it's player 1's turn. No one needs to draw a new card, so that's a good thing. Player 3, they're going to choose me to draw a card, of course. Oh, did not mean to do that. Oh, well. I can still play the H. And yeah, let's keep targeting player 1. I think that's kind of the strategy. Let's get player 1 out of here. Unless player 3 starts getting really low. We don't want him to win by playing all his cards. But he had to draw a couple cards to the hand, so it's looking pretty good for us. Okay, so now it's our turn. JKLMN. Okay, of course we have an N. That's not going to do much to get the game rolling here. Okay, so player 1 shows us to draw a letter. Player 3 has everyone draw a letter. Okay, it's our turn now. Let's go ahead and play the X so everyone draws a new letter. Okay, player 3's turn. Player 3 chose player 1, so that's cool. All right, our turn, NOPQRS. We have a P, so we can make everyone draw a new letter here. All right, player 1's turn. They had to draw a new letter of the playing field, and they did have the base letter, so everyone else had to draw. Player 3 chose player 1 to draw a card, so that's cool. It's our turn here. We have an A. Let's get player 1 out of here, baby. 10 letters in hand. They did play an A, so everyone else has to draw a card there. Okay, we do have a B. Now, I'm sure this is probably not the most exciting game to watch. I don't know if it's the most fun to play. I guess you guys can kind of be the judge of that. Go ahead and play it. Let me know what you think of it. But I certainly had a lot of fun making it, and I definitely learned some new things while making it. So that's a win in my book. Let's see, we don't have anything here, so we'll have to draw a new card. NOPQRS. Let's just go ahead and play the N. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to test it and kind of mess around with the balancing and stuff, so a lot of times kind of more towards the end of the game, you start getting into basically these just like kind of long drawn out battles with the other players. It is possible to win. I've definitely won a bunch of times. Of course, I've lost a few times as well. So, I mean, I guess it is balanced in that sense that, it's not like a guaranteed win or lose. It's definitely like a chance kind of game. But at the same time, I definitely would like to play around with the rules a little bit more to sort of get the flow of the game a little bit better. So maybe gameplay sessions are a little bit shorter, because I think it's like kind of by now people who are playing the game, they kind of get the idea of what's going on in the game, and they don't necessarily need to really play the whole thing out. There's not a whole lot of twists and stuff in the game. So I don't know. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know what kinds of things you'd like to see added to the game. I'm going to keep playing this out here and see if we can actually get a win. Unfortunately, we're going to have to draw some cards here, but that's okay. So, I mean, once you kind of understand what's going on, you can kind of speed through these things. Oh, player 3 just busted. So, heck yeah. Looks like we're getting down to the wire. So, it's just us and player 1. Now, I was targeting player 1 for quite a while. They do still have 7 cards. They had to draw a new card to the playing field. So they're at 6 cards now, and we're at 10. So we've got some catching up to do. Let's go ahead and make him draw a card. Of course, when we play the base letter here, there's only one other player in the game, so they're guaranteed to have to pull a card. So UV. I'm not going to take the risk here. I'm just going to play the U, play it safe. Okay. He made me draw a letter there. Okay, STVU. So we are going to have to draw here. FGHIJ. Okay, we have the J. So, oh wait, I do have a G. Almost missed that. So we can target player 1. So now we're pretty close. He's still just a little bit ahead of me. I'm gonna go ahead and play this J here. No one's gonna need to draw a new card there. Okay, it is my turn again. HIJKL. Let's play the K. Target player 1. Okay, we can play the K again. And then so yeah, this is particularly when it gets to these like one-on-one battles. It can be really drawn out because it's like you make them draw a card and they play a card, and then they make you draw a card and then you play a card. So it kind of gets into this like kind of slow, boring back and forth type battle, and maybe not all that interesting. Anyways, let's see how quickly we can speed through this game and finish it off here. So you did have to draw a couple cards, so now we're about even. I think I'm actually one ahead. He did have to draw a few more cards. JKLMN. Got the L. Take the L, player one. So kind of the original idea was that the main way to win was by getting rid of all the cards in your hand. I don't know if I've actually ever won by getting rid of all the cards in my hand. I know I've tested it out and it works, but not playing in a legitimate fashion have I ever won by getting rid of all my cards. I've only won by eliminating all the other players, which is cool. And I did have to draw a few more letters there, so this game is going to get drawn out just a little bit longer. Okay, we can make player one draw another card though. And he's getting close. He's just got a couple more left. So I mean, it's kind of a fun game. It's kind of a cool time killer game. Definitely a highly chance-based game. There is, some choices that you can make, whether you want to draw a card and kind of refresh the playing field, or choose who you want to send cards to. But I mean, it's kind of luck of the draw, really. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm going to lose this one, you guys. So as you can see, I have a full hand here, F, G, H, I, J. Just make sure I'm not completely overlooking a missing letter, but we're going to have to draw one more time. Game over. We busted, and unfortunately we lost the game. So that's kind of the game. Go ahead and play it out for yourself. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kinds of improvements you think I could make to it. What kinds of twists and cool things you think I could add to the game to make it more interesting, or how do you think I could change the rules up so it could play a little bit faster, or maybe give the player a little bit more choice. I'd really love to hear what you think. Again, I had a ton of fun making this game, and I'm going to be making a video where I show some of the cool things that I learned while making this game. So anyways, stay tuned for that. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel for lots more video game development content. Of course, if you have any questions for me or suggestions for future videos, feel free to leave those down in the comments section below. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.